Just very quickly did a bit more to this guy while I was off stream. And while I'm talking about things I did off stream, let's talk about so just so it's been said, because I like the idea that everything is documented, even if I don't do it on stream, that it's somewhere that I mention it. We switched off number burst for non-players, which has really improved performance. And I think it's also just a bit clearer. It's like easier to see how much damage something does and so on. And did some brainstorming for hero powers, which I kind of showed you that. Just stuff that I did off stream. Excuse me, bit of gas, just had lunch. And I got a bit of feedback from an ex-colleague of mine who's very good at giving useful, helpful, constructive feedback. So thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. So a decent goal. I'm pooped for the week. Like, I just want to play Mugenics and listen to some podcasts. Okay. So I think a good goal here. So we've got Vampire and Zombie. We've done Graveguard. This is good enough for now. It is basically a reskin of the human shield bearer, but that's fine. Let's do Vampire. So we all know what vampires look like. Vampires are easy. So we'll take our baseline. We'll make it very pale, like this guy. I think this is a good tone. Except the dark parts will be significantly darker, because I think one of the things about vampires is like sort of high contrast. Okay. I like the idea of the baseline using the same sort of baseline mouth and maybe baseline nose. Let's get our white eyes. White eyes. And then our teeth. So it's kind of a sort of maybe a chibi-ish vampire. We've got quite gaunt. Poopily poopily poo. Yeah, I think that's a good shape. Okay. So what else can we say about a vampire? Maybe slightly baggy eyes. We're already kind of getting somewhere here, aren't we? I quite like the sort of kind of more, but very thin eyebrows. More like a little bit more raised, and straight away I think that's looking pretty vampire-ish. And then I've always liked the vampire hair, which is like very slick back. So yeah, let's take this and let's do it on layer 2 just for consistency. Okay, that's a good first half of the shape. Should we go for a full spike? Yeah, I think a full spike. That's in a single point rather than a double point. And then, same height. And then, that's a vampire to me. So then we'll find a very, very dark, very black brown. So let's get brown and let's make it very dark. So that we've almost lost the brown out of it. Very dark. Can we see that? Oh. Okay, this is why I think it's actually going to be easier just to take this and just put it on there, and then we can do that. And we can take an even darker one and put it here. And we've got this slick back look. Just double check everything's ticking along properly. Yeah, and you can hear me and you can see me. All good, nice. I say you, I mean like, well, yeah, I mean, it's usually a handful of people watch, which is nice. It's appreciated. Okay. And then, yeah, I mean, it's very simple vampires. Like if you're thinking about a vampire versus a zombie, in a lot of ways a vampire is easier to draw than a zombie because it's just quite a simple thing. And what we can do is, as he gets more stronger, his eyes can become more indented. He can have longer fangs. He can look a little bit less pale, like he's received some blood, you know, kind of like the reverse of this guy. Okay. So for this one, we will take, and I think the teeth being a really important part of the vampire, I think we should consistently increase the size of the teeth with each level up. Yeah, very vampire-y, more gaunt. Maybe slightly more slightly more eyebrow, just a bit leveled up. And yeah, tier 2 vampire, level 2 vampire. Before I proceed too much, I'm just going to give him a little bit of shadow under his hair. So I guess my standards for shading and whatnot are slowly going up. Yeah, that looks good. And I can take that and copy it. No, you want this one? No, there we are. That over here. Thank you. Right. Now, bigger fangs. And we have to kind of up the ante a bit. Should his mouth be open a bit now, maybe? Oh, and in all cases, yeah, I think that looks good. And the fangs ought to have a nice wide outline because we want to draw attention. And then we can switch to his slightly less pale complexion to kind of tell the story that he has now received some blood. And I guess if we're being kind of like lore accurate, the yeah, like a fully fed vampire should be indistinguishable from a human. Okay, we can go a bit darker there because I think contrast looks good on a vampire. Yeah. Okay, we can tell he's had something to drink now. And then finally do the big white eyes. Maybe a drop of blood. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. The hair doesn't change. It's probably a wig anyway. Yeah, nice. Vampire. I thought this one would be easy. Just very much looks like a vampire, and we've left space for like the vampire lord, and now finally zombie, and we can kind of, I'd say the zombie is definitely like a friend of the ghoul. Don't know if I want to copy this, but let's just bring it over for reference. Yeah, let's take a default human, default head, and I think that color is good though, but we can go a little bit greener. And definitely the way to go with this is like, yeah, maybe they've got no hair, but I think I did pretty well with the teeth before. So we'll just do that again. So yeah, we'll just delete this. Kind of Plants vs Zombies. Where's Valplume when you need him? Okay, we got our bone. That could be a teeth. And I feel like we should actually have. Look at the noise. Should actually have a bit of shading. Just a bit of shading. Make the teeth look a bit sharper. The white eyes. And I mean, even the first step of so. Oh, do you want to close the door? Yeah, a bit of padded under the eyes. Do you want to close the door, babe? Thank you. Okay. And then eyebrows, hair. I mean, that kind of looks quite cool as it is. That was the sort of originally intended like level of detail, but we've kind of gone a bit beyond that for a lot of these characters. I guess that's fine. Kind of give it some character. I'm kind of doing it by feel, not so much science. And then maybe what we've got is, so like a level 1 zombie doesn't necessarily have like a chunk missing, but let's say they've got like a little scar there. And then so the next one, this will be open, like exposing a bit of brain. What should be brain? Like a kind of reddish pink. And we just go kind of like more gaunt with the eyes. But we should have lots of this, like, because what makes a zombie? It's like a human that's like fully sort of injured. So let's take this and pop it here. Yeah. Just gives more of a sense that these teeth are like over, you know, like hang over the mouth. Kind of makes them a bit more 3D. Just add a bit of shade to it like that. And then I think level 3 we can upgrade the mouth. How does this look? Or just black? Maybe with like bits of jam on his teeth. I've really got that song from Mugenics, Chum Bucket Kitty, stuck in my head. It's like song of the year for me. I think we can go like, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just making the zombie more zombie. I guess we can actually have some of the jam like oozing out, right? finally, we get our big eyes, which always changes everything. I guess we should develop a couple more. Just a couple. Like that. Do the eyes again. Jam seeping out even more. And I guess it's just these little jam holes that make it work, right? Never mind that one. I think I do want like really like jammy teeth now. I guess there's kind of like a naturalness I'm always trying to get across. Like you could sit there and figure out like what's the perfect composition of pixels, but sometimes you just kind of have to let your hand draw it rather than your head, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's a zombie, isn't it? Yeah, it's good enough zombie. Again, let's not spend too long on each one. Yeah, okay. And then we have, that's our first tier. So we have done half of the undead units today. A lot of them were kind of reskins. Yeah, we have them. Yeah, that's a ghoul. Yeah, it looks kind of gnarly. Got a plague doctor. I think that's going to be a lot of people's favourite. I don't know why, but the cross eyes are quite sinister there. And then, yeah, a ranger. It's all in the eyes. Ghost. Ghost looks more scared than scary. And then this guy, like, yes, please, can I have eternal youth? I will be a vampire, just I'll do whatever you ask. No, stop drinking my blood. But I think they will let him become a vampire. And then, yeah, Graveguard, pretty simple. And then the actual vampire. And I quite like this sort of familiar becomes, like they swap skin tones because this one's clearly drinking that one's blood. I don't know if anyone will notice that, but I like that kind of detail. And then a zombie, it's just clearly a zombie. It's going to look fun when they're all together, bouncing around at the player. And Finally. Yeah. Oof. I feel pretty done for today. Let's see how much further we can go. Because basically I want to get this out of the way. It doesn't have to be like super duper finished. That's not the plan, because that's going to be too difficult to achieve anyway. We're not going to finish this. We're going to... Like, I might... Because the thing is, I might redo everything. But just going through the list, what would the next one be? So if we went from... If we wanted to do edgelord, like... I mean, that's kind of like a knight, isn't it? So looking at the knight. I mean, it's already pretty scary. But like, the edgelord, what is the edgelord like? So the edgelord is just a strong melee user that will probably have a sword and shield, so it is basically a knight. But it feels kind of lazy to just copy this. Like, this already exists. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I should just enjoy the fact that, like, look, I've already drawn an undead version of a knight, and this is exactly that. It's an undead version of a knight. So how would that go? So we would take our knight's hat. We would make... I guess, yeah, just give me a blank one. And they would still have the red outline, but they would start with the... Yeah, like that. And then you just copy paste this along. Again, if I'm going to redo a lot of things, maybe I should just do it like this. It does feel kind of lazy. Feels like, could we do better than this? Like, not all the characters are reskins. Like, obviously the zombie, like the ghost, and then the... But like, I think a lot of the... It sort of makes sense that a lot of the undead are just reskinned humans, right? And end up looking exactly the same as the... Because basically I drew these to be like, what happens when you revive an engineer? What happens when you revive a lord? And I thought it was important that they had the same, like, hats and stuff. Right? So I could just be using a lot of these. And so, yeah, this is what happens if you resurrect a knight. It looks like this. And maybe that's fine. Maybe that's just, you know... it's just an evil... And especially because functionally it's the exact same thing as a knight. It's a shield bearer mixed with a skeleton. Will players be like, oh, that's just the same, it's repetition? I guess a little bit, yeah. I mean... you know, a character with a sword and a shield. With the orcs, you combine... I mean, so here's like, just to give a sense of difference. To get the glutton, you combine a Luke, which is a character that has a machete and a shield. Sorry, a scimitar and a shield. You combine a Luke goblin with an orc. And that's a different combination, and also the outcome is slightly different. Right? It's like... yeah, the outcome is significantly different. It's not the same character, you know? It's so we kind of, yeah, I mean, well, so actually the output is basically the same. It looks different, it feels different, and it has a different combo, so there's a different route to get there. But with the undead kind of very much being undead humans, like we could do an undead orc faction, but I don't know if it's needed. I don't know if there's much precedent for that anyway. You know, as an undead, you'll have access to reviving, which means that basically anything near you will become undeaded. But the undead faction is sort of default human, because we kind of want human skeletons. That's what we think of. So I'm just thinking, you know what? This is probably fine. And then we have the white, which is a ghoul plus a skeleton. And this should be... So we go from warg to warg rider. So it's like a very fast unit. We go from rogue to assassin, another fast unit. So ghoul, and we go from hound to Cerberus. So this should be like a fast moving undead thing. So like, let's go layer 1. And it should sort of have evolved from this. Right? What is a white? I mean, because from what I know, a white is just kind of like another word for an undead. But generally, whites... I think in Game of Thrones, they ended up calling them whites. So it's like... What I'm seeing here, I mean, yeah, have a look at this with me. So this is just a Google image search of white. So this is what, and then we're not including the Isle of Wight, where I've been to many times. But like, what I'm seeing here is that a white appears to be a bit more intelligent, right? They're not like morose, and they tend to have armor on. And here we've got a shirtless white, but it seems like a white is very much like, as opposed to like a zombie or a skeleton, a white is like a revived, is just like an enhanced ghoul. So what if we took some? So I kind of have an idea of what I want here. Then we sort of take this vibe, but we like. We kind of give it a haircut, you know? So we say that it's actually got like hair. We've done helmet. I don't know. Can I steal from my past self a bit more? Can we give it a helmet that we've already got? Is this a white with the crown? No, I think we've done that. Especially for like the tier 2 units, like I'm less inclined to reskin an existing thing. So yeah, I'm thinking of this like so let's take a baseline. Let's take a base human. And let's make a new frame. And let's give it the color. And let's give, yeah, the color. Just to kind of get the ball rolling creatively. It's not going to be the final color, but... And we kind of do... Let's do some hair, so let's do layer 2 and do some hair. Like So it should only be a pixel wider than the head, if not just matching it. And let's make that like grey. What did I miss? Oh, it's because I pressed A. Bucket. And then yeah, let's take that grey, make it much darker, and then we can kind of do like not in love with this so far. But let's see where it takes us. So let's do the eyes. And let's take the white's eyes as a kind of starting point. So yeah, we can give them a bit of shape. I think that's part of it. Let's completely steal the nose. And then for the mouth, let's do something like this, but a bit more refined. So we can do kind of like, it's kind of like that, but symmetrical, basically. And we'll take the same white for the eyes and just looks like he's managed to not lose any teeth somehow. Just for symmetry, can we... Yeah, that's looking good. And then we want just a bit of that similar kind of that emphasizing the lack of eyebrow. It's the funny thing I do where I kind of do like a very freehand line on one side and then I have to work quite hard to make that match on the other side. Yeah, and then I think the hair can be even whiter. Even whiter. Ends up just matching the skin too well. Well, can we change the skin a bit and be like, let's make it even a little bit blue. And now it looks like Game of Thrones, which I think is fine. What is the combination? It's ghoul plus skeleton. Yeah. And so then the hair should be very, very pale. Ice blue. Okay. I think that's good. Bit of a dodgy shape here to the head. And then, yeah, we should have shading. That's nice. Very Nightwalker, I think. With the blue, no eyebrows, ghoulish nose. Yeah, that works. I don't know. It's really hard with this game. Like, they all end up kind of looking like they have massive chins. There's a couple ways that chins end up looking massive. Okay, well, let's start there. And the first thing I want to do is bring the mouth down 2 pixels. And I just have this kind of instinct with this, where I want to kind of make his mouth massive as time goes by. Very death metal. And then where can we go, really? I mean, this should be there anyway. A little bit of shading. And actually, that should probably be there on the ghoul as well. If I just... So yeah, the ghoul kind of goes from, like, freshly dug up corpse to has been dug up for a bit too long and is starting to, like, look a bit mad, and then freshly dug up, like, noble corpse to absolute savage. Why does that not feel symmetrical to me? It's because this line is here. Yeah. And then, like, because it's like, maybe it's taken maybe a bit of scarring, bit of, like, yeah. and then we ramp it up. So let's take the mouth, move it another 2 pixels down. Let's do up the eyes even more, I think. Yeah, it does feel different. I mean, eyes and mouth will do that, and then like a bit more scarring. And then like finally, big old eyes to show that it's fully leveled up. We take the mouth and we move it 3 pixels down. No, yeah, just another, 3 pixels down. And we extend the teeth. And you just got this very simple shape that I feel like kind of ends up being quite, it's like simple but beautiful. I think that's what's fun about it. I think maybe did we? And then, yeah, more scarring. I don't know why scars always kind of come across better when they're like crosses for some reason. They just kind of end up looking more like scars. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Let's compare that to one of the ones that we really love. I'm really proud of this one for some reason. I just think it's like I don't know why. Compare that to that. Yeah, I mean it's scary. He looks scary. No one has mouths that big in the game, I don't think, or like, well, except for a couple. But yeah, there's a sort of beauty and simplicity to this. I'm gonna keep it. I like it. Let's see if we. Okay, Tomb Raider. I'm probably going to have to change the name of that. So we go from Grave Robber. So that will be our Plague Doctor. To Tomb Raider. God, this guy's... I love this. That's like... That's such a good thumbnail. Like, people would buy this. People would click on the game just to see what's going on with this guy. And this guy. Like, it's just a cheeky little smile. I don't know. As we talked about before, you see how much difference 1 pixel makes. It just changes the entire picture. So we have this to become a grave robber. How do we convert this to being grave robber? So a grave robber is, grave robber Tomb Raider is a necromancer plus a grave robber. So it's like, you know who I'm really thinking of is Slay the Spire. And what is the name of the Slay the Spire 2? What was the name? Dagger user. Easily the best character, the Silent. And I kind of almost feel like doing a straight like kind of reference. I don't feel like the Slay the Spire people will mind if I kind of. So what we're after here is a hooded skull, a hooded like deer skull. Just in case you don't know who I'm talking about, this is the character I'm thinking of from Slay the Spire. Very cool looking, but yeah, they kind of appear a bit differently. So here they've got the hood, and they've got the horned skull thing sticking out of the hood. So let's see how I get on with that. So as always, the first thing we want is our baseline, and then we take our baseline, and we can give it a hood. Should I use a pre-made hood? I don't see the harm in it. Let's use a pre-made hood. Do we have one? Yeah, pre-made hood. Let's use this. Put it on layer 2. It's all ready to roll. And then we can have the horns sticking out. So then we have like the mouth. Yeah, it would have to be like. So we've got this character. Oh, where did I need to put this back on my tabs? And so we have this. So again, I'm trying to copy this kind of vibe because I think that's cool, and it sort of leans in from the Plague Bringer type aesthetic. I think these starting characters need a bit of a glow up, but then there's the thing, right? It's like I might actually overhaul the entire art style. I have to think about it. Like, if I feel I have the time and the energy, I should just draw humanoids. That'll be like an experiment. I'll have to like try drawing them and see how it goes. Otherwise, I think probably all of these characters could do with a bit of a glow up. Like just a simple little bit of just a little bit of, you know, just to give them a bit more character, right? This kind of thing. Just a little bit of like you know, let's see, and like this guy, just because they look too similar. Anyway, for now, all I want to do is so if we have big old eyes, tasty legs and crispy thighs. Okay, yeah, let's take that. So we just want just let me do it, please. And then it would be like, so let's get rid of the nose. Let's get the color right. So let's use the same color for some kind of consistency, I think. Or maybe that should be a bit brighter as well. God, I love this guy. happens if I do that? It loses some of its touch. Okay, and then we have like a long face. And there's this really nice shape to that. Really nice shape they've got on that Slay the Spire thing. So I'm gonna copy that, and people are gonna think I'm really clever. Just the way the nose of the skull looks. It's very, very cool. So let's and yeah, basically we're kind of ignoring layer. I think we can kind of take layer 1 and paste it on. Oh no, so that doesn't really work. But we take layer 2, paste it onto layer 1, and then delete layer 2. And then we're just working with one layer. I think in this case that's easier. Less confusion. Okay, and then we've got this lovely shape, which is like a sort of M sticking in. I was talking about, so we go in and then out and then in and then out again. And then we can delete that. Making sure we keep that. That's too short. So we go right in, we go. Yeah. And then we can give it the way it kind of hangs on the side of the hood. No, I'm gonna like undo this completely. So the shape is wrong. Although I'm kind of thinking of going in a totally different direction based off of looking at this. I kind of imagine like a kind of cultist thing. I mean, what are we doing? We're doing Tomb Raider. I think Tomb Raider probably isn't it. Maybe we go from like, yeah, Grave Robber to like Plague Bearer. And so yeah, I'll do the same thing I did before, where I'll just copy layer 2 onto layer 1, and then we'll delete what's in layer 2. Because I think this case it's just going to be easier to work with one layer. Got a nasty smiley face. Or we go, we do that, but we do the Slay the Spire face, but we just do it a bit better than we were doing it before. Okay. Just cutting up this line now here so I can do the bucket fills without what does even B do? Apparently that, but yeah, so we just fill this in. We'll just grab a lot of this. Just grab these big chunks here. And we can fill that in. Oh, this looks kind of like, this is not what I was going for. Like, it's not coming across the way I wanted it to, but it's definitely coming across. Something's coming across. Yeah, those lines are too straight. I guess because the face is a bit fatter, it kind of comes off a bit weirder, but it looks almost like kind of a bit more Lovecraftian. I mean, that's not really what I was going for, but I'll take it. What if we... And then we don't delete that, but we just retexture it a bit. With what though? Just something less dark, but not that dark. And then we've got something like very weird looking, which, you know, I'm okay with. I like weird. I mean, yeah, like even with the rogue, like just while I've got the rogue handy. Like, hello? Right? Why did I not do that before? Like, it just looks way better, doesn't it? Now that he's got, like, the hooded part, right? So we should have the same here. I mean, this is kind of off the rails at this point. Let's get this. So what are we using for the shadow here? I think we're using this. So yeah, that should go there. So many different grays going on, but yeah, let's. No, it is this color. So yeah, that should be this color too. Okay, it's starting to look quite gnarly actually. Like, I don't really know what I'm drawing because it doesn't particularly look like the thing from Slay the Spire, does it? I don't know if the reference comes across. What is that down to the color? Like, okay, so let's try this. Let's try this. These are colors I seldom use, but like gold, a little bit of gold. So yeah, it'd be like that with like very much paler version. No, brighter. That looks Lovecraftian. It doesn't look like this. But it looks like something. It looks frightening to me. The hair coming out was a good part of that. But I think we'll skip that. Just to not be, you know, we don't need to a one-to-one copy, obviously. And yeah, we'll just highlight a bit of this to make it look a bit sharper. I think that's a good little dot there. And then, like, where do you go from here as well? I mean, this might be one of those signs that that I'm kind of burnt out, not just for the day, but for the week. That I'm just kind of coming up with this like stupid, crazy stuff that maybe doesn't work for this game. I don't know. But that's when you say, like, you give something vague, like grave robber. What do you mean? And it's funny because if I went to like a professional artist with that and said, yeah, I want a grave robber, be like, what the hell do you mean? And then it evolves into a Tomb Raider. Like, what? And me doing, while I'd love to just hire someone else to do it, me attempting to do it like this kind of like tells me the problems that the artist is going to would have run into, and they'd have been like, "What? Otis, you're not being clear on what you're asking for. Do you want to?" And I guess what I want is for them to come up with some shit, which is kind of like a different role, isn't it? But I feel like practicing this kind of thing is the kind of thing that is going to make me better at working with artists when I do have enough money to hire them. Okay, so where do we go from here? We make the eyes bigger. We can't really go any further with like the head, but we can oh, horns, the horns. So let's do and the horns can get bigger. Tasty legs and crispy. I really need to play Mugenics. I've just got the music stuck in my head. I think it's such a good game. It's kind of what I might have wanted Grid Slayer to be. It's one of my other games. Like, obviously, hopes and dreams, right? Okay, I feel like this is a sign. Just that is Friday. Mr. Friday. That's his name. Like, hello, are you done? Are you done for the week? Have we had enough now? Can we go home? Could we stop now, please? I mean, it's only 2:00, but I feel like this guy is saying stop, just to kill some time, and just to give me a little break from that. Okay. Update ultimate tutorial text to explain what it does. This is based on some feedback from a colleague of mine who gave some nice feedback in the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, please join the Discord. Do I have a link for it? It's on the Steam page. We have a link to the Steam page. Yeah, maybe I should have links to the Discord in the YouTube description. So, ultimate text, ultimate tutorial. She said that here we go. Ultimate use, that's the tutorial. Okay. You have full mana. So she just mentioned that she wasn't sure what it did. So let's just... Each hero has a different ultimate ability. Sean's ultimate ability summons more units. Okay, and then she also mentioned, so that's that done. She also mentioned, are you sure box before quitting the game? God, I hate doing these, they're so annoying. Can we do the other one first? So when you click on the gear icon, I believe that's in HUD, options button, open options. Okay, and I want it to close options as well. So if we're in options, close options, so close. Okay. Title screen. Time scale. Close the panel. If it's already false, then don't. Okay, yeah, I'll just do all of this, and we're doing very, very nasty. We're doing do not repeat yourself, because this should just be a continuous function, but I just don't think it's going to come up. And then options menu dot open if panel dot interact. Okay, so it's not going to open it. It's already not going to open it. Like do anything if it's already open. Okay, we'll skip apply resolution. Oh no, I guess not. Panel. Okay, so that is, yeah, just a little bug to try and fix. Okay, you can't actually press it from the title screen. Excuse me. This is, why is this, I fixed this already. That's really, 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 really annoying. Okay, okay, but now, wait, why? I don't understand. So now pressing it just does nothing. Wonderful. Okay. Also need to fix reroll artifact roll nonsense. I fixed it yesterday and it worked, and then I tested it and it worked, and now it's just like forgotten everything I did yesterday. Did I forget to save or something? Okay, so if I click the gear Okay, it's because it's opening it and then closing it. So if options menu dot panel dot active self is equal to true, then do all of that. And probably this will never happen here, so we don't need to include that. Don't understand. It's a little bit of, I didn't expect this. So this is the Friday head, I think. God, I swear the stream is way behind. I'm seeing that it's still talking. I'm still drawing the white. That was a long time ago. Can I? Yeah, I don't know why it goes behind for me. Closing. Whoa. Why? Okay, so it's opening and then closing. Okay. I'm just, yeah, see, it's definitely Friday head. Definitely Friday head. Because I'm just being a moron. There you go. And yeah, she also wants, and this is perfectly reasonable, a confirm screen to exit there. Which I really can't be bothered to do right now. And that's how you know it's Friday. On a Monday, I'd be like, yep, still got lots of energy. Do I have a Are You Sure button? Are You Sure panel? I think I do. For resetting your game file. So I want to just copy that. Are you sure you want to do this? No. I'm trying to use symbols as much as possible, but maybe I'm relying on them too much. Yeah. Okay, so we have, that's my personal to do. So we have the click gear to close options, that works. Fix artifact, reroll nonsense, fill hero roster. Well, I've kind of done that. So like, yeah, add sprites, ally prefabs, Unholy artifacts, sort combo achievements, fill hero roster, and update builds. This can be like a Monday thing. Yeah. Fix artifact, reroll nonsense, update builds, new upgrades. So like we have made very good progress. We did the white, we're doing the Tomb Raider, then we're going to do the Revenant, the Banshee, the Blood Mage. And yeah, I think I need a mental reset for that. And then we'll do all the demon ones. There's not as many demon ones. And then we've got weapons, and then just a couple talents. And then we've drawn most of the things we need. Again, I might need to redo it, but I think this is a worthwhile expenditure of time to get this to get the point across. And then maybe I'll hire an artist. Maybe I'll try and redraw them as humanoids. Maybe this is what we get, and I'll just kind of give a glow up to the older ones and just keep improving on them. I think the bouncing heads is quite cute. I guess it's something. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's something. Let's round off the day with a playtest. So we haven't played as Beanie in a while. And we haven't played on, let's do for, no, yeah, and let's do Beanie in the Plains and see how that goes. I bloody hate this. Killer reset. Does she not start with an ally? Wait a second. Or a weapon. Okay, so let's go have a look at Beanie. So that's going to be in the demo right now that everyone's playing. Okay, so this is why I never. So I'm going to very quickly just do a cheeky for the demo. Just do a cheeky little revert back to the old build. So might have to confirm that on the app. Okay, so Beanie, probably for testing earlier, I have gotten rid of all of her starting upgrades. So she starts with bow, and ranger. Okay. Yeah, I guess I left some errors in there. Yeah, so I should do that. I should do that today, actually, shouldn't I? Just update that error. I think I need a break though. Okay, so we're playing as Beanie in the Plains. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly mention, just because I did put the call out. And just so everyone knows. Even if it makes me look silly. I am a bit silly, that's fine. Okay, critical buff. Crit. Let's go for a full crit build. Because we have our arrows. And yeah, we got a little buff when we did a crit. Isn't that nice? Yeah. And I have to say, this game just kind of feels good to play. Like, okay, crit, crit, crit. None of these are specifically critty, so let's go for improved archers. I feel like one of my guys just got the thingy but didn't actually get a crit, didn't actually get a buff. And when I did it, did I buff everyone? Let's see. Yep, crit, crit, crit. Okay. The enemy just got a buff. Critical buff. This is silly bugs that are left in the game. That's what you get for working on Fridays. So this is on the person that's taking damage. Make random buff. Yeah, make random buff on the damager. Okay, so I'm just going to put one in the to-do list. Test and fix critical. Okay, it looks like it worked there. I think I must have done a crit and we all got a buff from that. But I think when my allies are doing a buff, but that should be fine. Critical buff. So we roll it. If damager is player, random buff all. I think that just worked. And then make random buff damager. Yeah, make random buff damager. So we buff the character. Then we add a buff. Ah, there we go. Character.add buff. That'll do it. Okay, I'm just gonna save that. That's why. So. Ooh, yeah, well, this is a bit too much of a botched run, so I'll just start another one. Just to round off the day. Something fairly low effort. Hello, William. Plan for full release? I don't know. This game's going to take as long as it takes, but we're not far off. Forgive me, are you new to the stream, or have I seen you before? Because yeah, this game is Okay, let's do critical heal. Hopefully we don't have the same issues there. Yeah, I mean, where are we at? We like I programmed all the factions and all the characters and all the weapons, so everything works in principle. So there's balancing, and I've just been drawing all the newest characters. Okay, crits. Just this guy. We don't need heals if we're getting our heals from crits. I think that's a fair assumption. Yeah, so we have to draw all our characters, which I'm in the middle of doing. And then once that's done, that's like a big milestone. And actually... Yeah, I'm going to change it to Army of Survivors at some point. That's definitely happening. And then as for the art style, I'm not sure. So it's going to be this year. It's going to be this year. I mean, it kind of depends as well on like finding other work and stuff like that. Because I just had to take 2 weeks off for I just got some freelance work. And that kind of slowed me down a bit. Little random things get in the way and slow me down. But yeah, I don't know. 3 months? It's really hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. Okay, we're doing crits, so let's do dagger. Dagger is the crit weapon. William, are you the guy who made like the blacksmithing rune game, or am I thinking of someone else? Do I want poison? Not really. I could have it. I'm not against having poison, but yeah, let's go all in with the crits. My guys aren't critting very much, so they're not getting those heals, but that's because there's not really many things for them to shoot. Oh, I don't know if, I mean, so what, is it released? You did Next Fest, right? What was it called? What was it called? Because I think you've got a solid product there. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember the name, but I can go to the chat if you can just tell me. Because so have you released it? Okay, so you released it 2 weeks ago. Volland, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. That sounds about like what happens. So, Volland. And yeah. So, I mean, it looks good. What you might have done is just after Next Fest, just giving it more time to percolate. But yeah, tell me, what did you learn? Yeah, no, you did like this. This basically what's happened to me with most of my releases. You might find, yeah, marketing is a thing. You need to get to grips to that. With that, I think the game looks good. I think the price point is there. You'll get more reviews. And let me see. So I'm just looking at... Do you mind if I pull up the game so we can look at it? I'm just... So like what you want... Okay, yeah, so you got a nice review. What you want is to get that 10 reviews. So that you get... like once you get 10 reviews, you get a score, right? And so when it comes to marketing, you don't need to. So like, let's show off this game a little bit. So yeah, this guy William. I mean, you're the only one in the. It's you and one other person who I think might be my wife is watching the stream right now. So it's just us chatting, but people tend to watch this after the fact. And if anyone's watching, this is a game made by someone who's in the chat, which is like a blacksmithing, kind of like a sort of rune-based. Let's turn the volume down. A rune-based, like, what's the game called? Balatro, right? So when it comes to marketing, this is a tip that I've learned. Like, if you are thinking of marketing in the same sense that, like, you need to get, so for every 1,000 people who see your marketing, 1 or 2 of them will buy it, right? Like, that's a different level of marketing. So for an indie like us, it's going to make all the difference if you can get 10 reviews on day 1. Right? Like that's what you should be aiming for, because then you get your review score and then you get on the Steam algorithm, right? So it's like you need to do whatever you can to make sure that you get 10 reviews on day 1. So one of the things I'm doing is YouTube. So like hopefully what people do is they see the game and you don't need to supply the whole stream of marketing. You just need that day one. That day one, like, loyal fan base of people who are going to buy the game on day 1 and leave a review. And yeah, it really is worth cashing in any favors you have with your friends and being like, please, can you play the game for a couple hours or at least leave it on, and leave a review. I found that most my friends don't really do that for me, sadly. For example, all of the reviews for Interrogation Simulator, I don't know. Nobody that I knew left a review for Interrogation Simulator, or Love Quest for that matter. But like for the next game, the aim is to, is to achieve that basically. So like, get those reviews in, and I think what you might have done is you might have gone into Next Fest. And so you got 300 wish lists at Next Fest. That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. But then you want to let it sit there for a bit. Just kind of almost like while you work on the next game, just let it sit there as a demo and generate wish lists and make YouTube videos about it and share it around. And you just want to get it. Like a good one to aim for is like 2,000 wish lists. But yeah, no, well done for making a game. Well done for releasing it. You're now in the 1% of game devs, because you can actually make and release something, and it looks like a competent product. Like, sorry, I haven't played it myself. I just don't have the time. I mean, if I was to give one bit of like lofty feedback, is that since this is like maybe more of a visual to sort of see what happens a bit more, like it looks like a bit of like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to learn to play, I'm gonna have to learn this. So like maybe more of like the sort of beating the weapon, even if it's just visual, that kind of thing. But yeah, well done, congratulations. Like you've taken the first step. And yeah, 20 sales isn't bad, and that'll grow. And then if you keep getting good reviews, yeah, no, I mean it's like I'd love to give more feedback, but it's like sorry for giving it after the fact. But yeah, this is the kind of shit I needed to hear as well, and still do actually. Like what I'm saying is like the stuff I'm going to be trying next time I make a game. Well, when I'm making this one. So you see I'm doing this, I'm developing it live on stream. It doesn't bring in a lot of people, as you can see. There's not a lot of people watching. But it's something. I don't need to get 1,000 customers to buy my game. I just need to get 10. to then buy my game and review it, you know? On day one, to get that momentum. And then it's like, it really is like Steam will show your game to people. And it's not a matter of, is your game good, but it's like, is your trailer good? Is your store page good? In your case, yeah, I think it is, actually. Oh god, Meteor. Meteor's not very well implemented at the moment, but that's what I'm going to go for. So yeah, keep going, keep trying. I think you're probably like ahead of me in terms of, I don't know, like that. I think that's a good, I don't know if that was your first game, but yeah, you know, that's solid. Keep going, take your time with your games. There's two types of people. There's people who will start a bunch of projects and then never finish them. And then there's people who will release unfinished products. I'm kind of closer to the latter. And I think finding that balance is really good. So for me, like trying to release projects that, yeah, getting that balance right, basically. Like not starting lots of new projects, not having a bunch of unfinished Unity projects in my hub, but also not leaving them unfinished. So yeah, God, I mean, there's so much to think about. Yeah, marketing, getting that first 10 reviews, getting your visuals down. I think the name as well. Yeah, no. So in Interrogation Simulator. So just to answer your question, Interrogation Simulator did not have a great showing day one. I didn't expect it to. But what happened is, because it's a good game, if I may say so myself, I mean, it's getting good reviews. That's actually like, at the moment, it's my most popular game. I don't know if, like, Blacksmith's probably the most popular, but yeah, give it time to rest, and just don't think about it, move on to your next project, you know. But yeah, it always has the chance, because basically people will play it. If it reviews well, Steam will show it to more people. I mean, yeah, one thing is the name, which I don't know what does Voland mean? Is that like Nordic for sort of, like, I would think the name is like, I don't understand what it is by looking at the name, which was a mistake with Warbeans, right? So for Warbeans, I'm going to change it to Army of Survivors, because, and it's one thing if it's like an established genre, right? Like if you make a first-person shooter, you don't call it shooting from my head, kind of, you know, you just name it based on the theme. But because the whole point of this game is filling a niche, you have to name it. I don't know, so Balatro doesn't work, because I don't know what a Balatro is. Like, I might have called that game like Rogue Poker, but Balatro had the advantage of being like it's using poker, right? So you see it. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the name is really important. If you had a big marketing budget, that would be a different thing. But yeah, you might have wanted to call that like Rune Smith. Is there a game called Rune Smith? Rune Smith might have got it, right? Yeah. There's so many things. I mean, we should stay in touch and like try and you know, give each other this kind of feedback before we release, right? Because yeah, like with Warbeans, like I've kind of, I've done my next fest, so you know I got it wrong this time. Joker Poker. Okay, so yeah, that's interesting. Joker Poker, I would probably say, is a better name, but I guess what do I know, right? Because I didn't release Balatro. I'm not a multi-millionaire right now. But like, yeah, I mean, definitely show me what you're doing with your next game and stuff, and you know, we can help check these things out, because what's obvious to us is not obvious, or like things that we think, things that should be obvious are not obvious to us when we're in there, right? Like when you're working on a project, someone could be like, I don't get why are you calling it Warbeans? And I could say, I'm thinking of Brotato. And it's like, yeah, but you're not Brotato. Brotato came out at a time when survivor likes were not that common. And it was a sort of alternative to Vampire Survivors, and kind of hit a niche really, really well. Whereas this is not as smooth as Brotato. It's not as wild as Vampire Survivors. The USP is that you have an army with you, so call it that, you know? But yeah, no, I Volant, don't despair with Volant. Like, Interrogation Simulator took a little while to pick up. It's now got like 56 reviews. So, you know, you can imagine how many it sold based on that. Very cheap. I'm going to go with Killer Explosion just because I'm not really... Oh, wait, I do have fire. Oh, yeah, Fireball. Yeah. Yeah, and just kind of making a good game as well, right? It's really, really difficult. But, like, Steam will recognize if your game is good, you know. Steam is quite fair. It's not just the game though, it's the store page, but yeah, it's is the enemy healing there? Is that me getting a crit and healing all my allies? I think it was. It's what it should be happening. I'm gonna want... Yeah, let's get the rogue. And yeah, I don't know, it's like having that patience. But I think you did really well with Voland, because it's like, there's not really much further you could go. Okay, wait. I feel like the enemy is healing there. So let me just check that. Okay, yeah, heal all allies is happening in team. So I'm healing all of my allies, all of the enemy. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what happened with me and Blacksmith. That's exactly what happened with me and Blacksmith. Like, I was like, let's just make a game, you know. And then you're like, hold on, could this be the next Stardew Valley? You know. Yeah. Yeah, and I think approaching it from that angle, you know, like, and you can have love of the game, like making a functional business product that's like, as well as, you know, yeah, I mean, we just, because if we really wanted to just make money, just start making mobile games. Like, it's ridiculous. Right, let me just do damager dot heal all allies and damager dot heal. That feels really obvious. Like, why didn't I get that right before? Heal. Oh, okay, because we're healing. Ah, okay. But it still needs to be the damager who does the heal. Healer, yeah, character.heal, and it's, yeah, why? I swear I would have, that's a really silly mistake to make. Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we just want to make good games. But we want to make a career out of it, you know, we want to be able to sell these good games. And, Yeah, no, when Blacksmith came out, I was totally just like, so I just feel like an idiot for these silly programming mistakes. Yeah, I started it without expecting much, and then I kind of got caught up in the idea of like, what if I could actually be a game dev? And then that's been me. That was like 9 years ago now. 9 years ago that I started. So I'm 39 now. I started like the January after I turned 30. Yeah, I mean, it's a long process. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy. I used to smoke a lot of weed as well, so it's probably taken me longer than it should to get to the point where I need to be, but, you know. Yeah, making games, selling them, making money, that would be good, wouldn't it? I guess having a YouTube would be good. I mean, really what most smart people do is they like make lots of friends and connections and stuff, you know? Okay, this run is so over because we're actually healing the enemy by doing crits. So yeah, I think this is over. We got our engineer. Right, yeah. I'm going to leave it there for today. Thanks for dropping in, William Frickleton. Sorry for not remembering exactly who you were. I should put a list somewhere, right? So I can, because I'm just crap with names. I remember people. I remember you're the same guy who wrote to me about the Blacksmith game, and so once I know who you are, I remember all our interactions. It's just the name that I get stuck on. But yeah, cheers. Thanks for joining. Yeah, let's stay in touch. Like, keep me posted on your next game, and I'll give you some feedback, and likewise. Yeah, thanks very much for joining and chatting. It really helps. So yeah, have a good one. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Cheers. Bye.